Now let's look at how to use the Send Email node in your agent flow. This node is used whenever you want your agent to send an email automatically. That could be for notifications, approvals, status updates, or even sending documents and reports. What makes this node powerful is that it gives you full control over how the email is authenticated, who the email is sent to, what content is included, and whether you want to send a simple message, a template-based email, or an email with attachments. Accessing the Send Email node. To use it, add the Send Email node into your workflow. Once you open the node settings, you'll see several parameters. Let's understand what each one does, why you would use it, and how to configure it properly. Authentication settings. The first parameter is authorization type. This tells the node how to authenticate with your email provider. You'll usually see three options: basic authentication, OAuth 2.0, API key. Use basic authentication when you want to connect directly with SMTP credentials, like username and password. Use OAuth 2.0 when your organization requires a more secure login flow, such as Microsoft 365 or enterprise mail systems. Use API key when your provider gives you an app password or service-specific credential. Service provider. Right below that, you'll see service provider. This lets you choose a preset provider like Gmail, Outlook, or Microsoft 365, Yahoo. Why use this? Because it helps pre-fill common SMTP settings, so configuration becomes faster and easier. Basic authentication fields. If you select basic authentication, you'll also configure SMTP host, SMTP port, use SSL or TLS, username, and password. SMTP host is the mail server address. SMTP port defines which port the server uses. Use SSL or TLS when your provider requires a secure encrypted connection. Username and password are the credentials used to log into the SMTP server. This setup is commonly used for standard SMTP-based sending. OAuth 2.0 fields. If you select OAuth 2.0, you'll see tenant ID, client ID, client secret, and callback URL. These fields are used for secure app-based authentication. Tenant ID identifies the organization or directory. Client ID identifies the registered application. Client secret is the secure credential for that application. Callback URL is the redirect URL used during the authentication flow. Use this option when your email system is managed through enterprise identity providers. API key fields. If you select API key, you'll usually configure user email and API password. User email identifies the account being used. API password is typically an app password or service-specific key. This option is helpful when providers do not use direct SMTP passwords, but still allow secure authenticated sending. Next, you have from email and from name. From email is the sender address that the receiver will see. If you leave it empty, the node can use the authenticated email account by default. From name is the display name, for example, support team, finance desk, Conchat Studio. This is useful because it makes the email look more professional and recognizable. Template option. Now let's talk about Use Template. If you enable this, the node will use a saved email template. This is helpful when you want consistent subject lines and email content across multiple workflows. Once template mode is enabled, you'll need to choose Template Name. Template name tells the node exactly which saved template to use. Use this when your organization already has approved email formats, or when you want to avoid rewriting the same email again and again. Manual email content. If template mode is turned off, you'll configure the content manually. The first field is subject. This is the title of the email. Use it to clearly describe the purpose of the message. For example, Approval required. Your report is ready. Workflow execution completed. Then you have text body. This is the plain text version of the email. Why use it? Because plain text emails are simple, lightweight, and work well across all email clients. Then there is HTML body. Use this when you want formatted emails with bold text, links, branding, tables, or structured layouts. In many cases, HTML body is ideal for customer-facing communication, while text body is useful for internal alerts and fallback support. Recipients. Now let's look at who receives the email. The first field is To. This is required. Here, you enter the main recipient email address. You can provide one email or multiple emails separated by commas. Then comes CC. Use CC when you want to keep additional people informed without making them the main recipient. Next is BCC. Use BCC when you want to send a hidden copy to someone, for example, an audit mailbox, an admin team, or an internal monitoring address. This is especially useful when you want visibility without exposing those email addresses to everyone else. Dynamic values. All of these fields can also use dynamic variables. That means instead of hard-coding values, you can pull them from your workflow input or context. For example, $input for incoming workflow data, $context for context-level values. Why is this important? Because it allows the same node to work dynamically for different users, requests, or records. Threading parameters. Now let's move to InReplyTo and references. These two parameters are useful when you want your email to be part of an existing email thread. InReplyTo is used when you are replying to a previous message. References is used to preserve the message chain, so email clients can group related messages together. Use these fields when you're building workflows for support conversations, ticketing, or approval chains that need proper email threading. Attachments. Next is Attachments JSON. This is used when you want to attach files to the email. For example, PDF documents, generated reports, invoices, or exported files from another node. You provide attachment data in JSON format. Typically, each attachment includes file name, content type, and base64 content. Why use this? Because it allows your workflow to send generated documents automatically, without manual downloading or uploading. This is especially useful when your flow creates a file in one step and sends it by email in the next step. How to use it effectively. A simple way to use this node is choose the right authentication method, set the sender details, add recipients, write the subject and body or select a template, and attach files if needed. If your workflow is dynamic, use variables in the subject, recipients, or body so the email changes automatically based on the data flowing through your agent. Why this matters. The Send Email node helps your agent communicate automatically and reliably. It can notify users, send approvals, deliver generated files, and keep processes moving without manual effort. Instead of sending emails outside the workflow, everything happens directly inside your automation. And that's how the Send Email node works. By understanding each parameter, when to use it, and how to configure it, you can build email flows that are flexible, professional, and fully automated.